Hey everybody, Scott with Revolution Modern Martial Arts. I'm here with my friend Colton. We're going to talk about wrist escapes. And wrist escapes are good for women and children to know, because if someone's grabbing a wrist, they're generally trying to drag you somewhere. And I'll be quite honest with you, as a grown man, I'm not really too concerned with someone trying to take me somewhere, but for my wife and my son, I am. Right? So we have to understand how to break wrist control. Now, the first thing we got to discuss is, if I grab Colton's wrist, I'm larger than him, I'm going to be pulling him, right? And this means that he can't necessarily strike his way out of it for two reasons. If he's trying to punch me with that hand with any kind of power, as he starts punching, you'll notice Colton's other hand comes back. That's how he generates power on that strike. But with me having control and pulling him, it's going to be very hard for him to get power off this strike, number one. Number two, you can see what it does with accuracy as well. So he won't be able to hit hard or accurately. If he was trying to kick me as I'm pulling him, he can't even lift his leg up with any kind of power without getting pulled off balance. So what he's going to do in this case, if it's a same side wrist grab, I've grabbed his wrist. What he's going to do is utilize the fact that my thumb and finger is the weak point. He's going to make a fist. He's going to put a cap on it. I'm pulling him. He's going to rip hard towards that opposite shoulder to get free. All right, that's his wrist escape. He'd get his hands up in a defensive position after that. Now, this works really well, as I mentioned, for two reasons. He's pulling out at the weak part of my grip, number one, and he's rotating his wrist so the thin part of his wrist comes through my grip as opposed to the wide part of his wrist, right? One thing he has to be careful of, Colton's demonstrating very well, he's pulling towards his shoulder. Because if he was to pull towards his face, go slow, Colton, pull towards his face, he'd end up hitting himself. So we put a cap on it, we step, we rip to that opposite shoulder to break from that same side wrist grab. Stay tuned for some more videos where we'll go over other wrist grabs and learn how to defend yourself. Thanks. Scott with Revolution Modern Martial Arts. I'm here with my friend Colton. We're talking about wrist escapes. If you saw our last video, we talked about the fact that if a bigger person is grabbing a smaller person, they're probably trying to pull you somewhere. You're not going to be able to effectively punch or kick your way out of it. We need ways to break that grip and escape. Now, let's say I've got a hold of Colton and I've got what we call a 2-on-1. I've grabbed him with two hands. I'm trying to pull him somewhere. This is a little bit more difficult to escape because the weak point of my grip is where my thumb and finger meet. And the fact that I have two hands incorporating, I'm doubled up on that position. So I'm pulling on Colton. What he's going to do is make a fist. He's going to reach in the center. He's going to pull hard to his opposite shoulder that way. And what that's doing is it's creating a lot of pressure on my thumbs this way and starting to bend them backwards. And that's how he breaks free. So again, I've got a hold of him. I'm trying to pull him somewhere. He sets his feet. He grabs his own fist. He pulls hard, bang. And based on how hard I'm pulling, when that releases, he may get some separation. Otherwise, he brings his hands up to defend himself. So the key with a wrist escape is not to punch and kick your way out of it, is to reach in and break the grip and make sure you're utilizing more of your body against your opponent's grip than they can use against your own wrist. Hi, Scott with Revolution Modern Martial Arts. I'm here with my friend Colton. We've been talking about the ways to escape from wrist grabs. You know, as a grown man, people aren't going to grab me and try and pull me places. But a younger person, a woman, a lot of times people will try and pull them somewhere. So we need to know how to break these types of grips. We've talked about in an earlier video how we get out of the same side. We've talked about how do we get out of the 2-on-1. But what about the cross grip? The cross grip is a different grip. Now, his exit point, Colton's exit point, is where my thumb and finger meet. But based on the fact that it's on the outside of his hand, he doesn't have a lot of power going this direction to just rip free. So if I'm pulling him, he's going to have to drop low a little bit so then he can sneak this hand on the opposite side of my arm. And now he's going to recruit his other hand to push. And that breaks my grip. I'm holding on with just these fingers and this weird orientation based on what he does. When he comes underneath, he's created a weird orientation and he pushes on my arm hard. And that's what's going to break the grip. And he's going to get some room to move. Now, there's another one that we teach, which we call thumbs up, thumbs down. And if he's to grab hold of me and he's not moving, hold tight, Mr. Colton, I can easily rip free this way. But the reason why I'm not showing this right now is because I have to have my arm close to do a thumbs up, thumbs down. If I'm pulling Colton somewhere, it's very hard for him to get that power. But he can get underneath me now and then use his other hand to push. And that's how we escape that grip. So we've gone over how we get same side, how we get a 2-on-1, and now we've discussed how we get a cross grip. Next video, you'll see how we get out if we have two hands pulling somebody, how we escape from there. This is Scott with Revolution Modern Martial Arts. I'm here with my friend Colton. We've been talking about the need in self-defense for smaller folks, women and children to be able to escape from wrist grabs. A lot of times, I wouldn't expect a man to try to drag me somewhere. That's not something I have to deal with. But a younger person, a woman, unfortunately, this is the reality. And if someone's trying to take you somewhere, one way they're going to be doing it is by grabbing your wrists and arms and trying to pull you. We've gone over what happens if we grab same side. We've gone over what happens if somebody gets a 2-on-1. We've gone over what happens with the cross grip. Another one we have to deal with is when someone's grabbing both hands. So they've got a hold of you this way and they're pulling you. So what Colton's going to do is he's got to exploit my grip and come out where my fingers and thumbs meet. So he's going to step forward nice and strong, get a little bit of base. He's going to whip his hands up in a circular fashion this way, and then he would push my shoulders to get some separation. Now, if I'm really pulling Colton hard, when he releases that grip this way, that's probably going to happen. I'm probably going to drift back anyway. But if they don't, you want to push on their shoulders. The reason why we push shoulders is because it exploits their balance. If I push Colton's shoulders, it sends his weight over his base. He's got to back up to catch it. If I push his chest, he can kind of counterbalance and absorb it, and he doesn't move. So if you need to push someone away, we push at the shoulders. So as we do that move, we step in. You can't see what Colton's doing from this angle. He's bringing his hands in this fashion to break the grip and push. And that's how we get out of that 2-on-2 grab. Hey guys, Scott with Revolution Modern Martial Arts. I'm here with my friend Colton. We've been talking about how to escape wrist grabs. From a self-defense perspective, if you're a woman or a smaller person, there's a chance a bigger person is going to try to drag you somewhere, okay? Again, men don't have to deal with this often because men generally aren't trying to drag each other's places, but men grab kids, men grab women. So we have to know how to get out of this same side grab when someone's pulling you. Colton's already shown that in another video. Or what happens if they grab you this way? We've already gone over that. A cross grab, we've gone over that too. All right, we've even gone over what happens if someone's pulling you this way. How another situation is if a person's being aggressive, maybe you've brought your hands up defensively, like so, a man could grab you this way and start driving you towards a wall, okay? And we need to be able to deal with this. So what Colton's gonna do is he's gonna use elbows. He's gonna throw his elbow over the top, and what that's gonna do is it's gonna make my grip into a weakened position as he wiggles his arms free. So I'm pushing, he's gonna bring that elbow over top that way. Okay, and if he does it hard, it yokes my arm over, and the nature of his arm, as he's bringing that elbow over, start coming over, slow motion, and then my grip is in a weakened position, and then he pulls his hand out, and that's what's happening. So we throw those elbows over, all right, and then we have our hands back up as we back away, careful of it getting re-grabbed. But that's how we get out of it. So one more time, he's got his hands up, maybe he's saying, leave me alone. I've grabbed hold and I'm driving him back. He's gonna set his feet and throw those elbows, okay? And that's how we get out of that grip. Please follow our page for more videos, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.